Ah, piss, fine. Hi, it's Sandwich Jones. It's your pal you didn't know you had until recently, because I keep trying to do uploads, but YouTube keeps fucking them into the ground. That was probably earlier than 30 seconds. I'll put an intro. Let's make it in this will be, yep, we're gonna make an intro for these now. I think it finally deserves it, if I could just talk. Anyways. So, been really stoked on doing these. I've been having fun with them. I don't know what the order of these will come out, because every time I post one, YouTube goes, nah, well, you know, yeah, I'm gonna ban this in every single country because it has copywritten material in it. Even if it's just the video, it doesn't have to have the audio. It can literally just be the video, and they go, yep, that's what this is. Cut, cancel. Don't let them do it. Block it in all countries. Copyright strike. Copyright strike. But then I see people doing reviews of songs, like just the song, and it's all good. They can play the whole fucking song, no big fucking deal. So here's what I've decided. I'm gonna just put the fucking song in, and I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I want, and let's just see how it goes. Next thing you know, my channel will get just shut shit out from the planet. And that's fine, because all these other people get away with it and it's no big deal. That felt good to say. We'll see what happens. YouTube does not want me to have an account. And that kind of sucks, even though I've had an account in YouTube Premium for a really long time. But since I started doing these, and even in the background, because when I do music videos, I put them on my account unlisted, so the client, band, whatever, can go watch the video that I've worked on for them without having to use Google Drive, because Google Drive is terrible. So they don't have to go through the process of dealing with Google Drive, which will show it on lower resolution than 4K, or have to download it, watch it, and then, you know, if there's notes, then they got to do the whole process again. It's seamless when you do it through YouTube. So it really sucks that, you know, even then in those situations, those also get copyright strikes if the band's already released the song onto platforms. Even better is I did a full music video edit, screen record for one of the best bands in my area, and they should be fucking massive by this point because they're amazing, is Avanti. When I edited the second music video I did with them, I screen recorded the entire thing and talked my way through it so I could, you know, show people how I do my process. And you know what they did? They copyright strike that motherfucker too. So, you know, I'm upset. I'm annoyed. I'm frustrated. But it's okay, because I don't back down from a fight, especially if it's one that I can get on Twitter and complain about. I'm not really doing Twitter that hot, so I need to get on that. This is not going to make sense in a minute. Anyways, so today we're doing Whitechapel, a Bloodsoaked Symphony. They released this like 2 hours ago. I seen it on Facebook and I was like, big city bets, boys, because the last album I loved. I think the singing stuff is super fucking good. I think that their new direction's amazing. Their new drummer's a fucking unit. And there's so many little like polyrhythms and fills, and it's just so good. And you know, they do fall into the overproduced side of metal, and that's okay because it's done so well. And they're one of the bands that I think it works really well for, because there's a lot of bands that go for like a more intrinsically heavy but like naturally raw thing, and then when those bands get overproduced it sounds like shit. But Whitechapel has done a really good job of sounding very heavy but also very well produced and done. Who did the last album? Was it Mark Lewis? Sukoff? Whatever. Yeah, so I'm really stoked on this video. I've already watched it once, which maybe I'll start actually doing notes for these. I don't know. I'm talking too much. And we got this great, you know, vertical. We got this great upside down shot so the blood drips down. I really like this shot because It's super ambiguous. It's got the nice black background, and they weren't afraid for the shot to be dark. I'm super paranoid of in music when I do music videos that like a shot will be too dark and you can't see it on someone's phone, because my display is calibrated, but not every phone is the same. It's like back in the day with websites, it would be optimized for Internet Explorer, or it'd be optimized for Firefox, and then something wouldn't work when Google Chrome came out. Whatever. But I love this shot. It's got this great edge lighting. It's got lighting from like pointing down at the face, and so you get that great light bouncing off of the blood, and you get a lot of detail from that rather than like seeing the whole face in perfect lighting, which would totally blow the load on the shot. I love it. It's beautiful. And I love these shots. They're super, super pretty. I don't know what camera they used, but I'm assuming that it was not 4K as far as the intermediate before it got exported as 4K. I think it's probably like 6K. My guess, with a lot of people these days, they're using the red Komodo, but it looks really great. Super shallow depth of field. Weren't afraid to push the highlights here. Even it's like sort of clipping, but a lot of things clip in the real world, and I love that. Like this looks great because we're still getting the shadows on the left side. So I mean, it's done well. My only bitch is, and this is probably their intention, and this is just me thinking out loud, is I wish the eye was in focus and not the eyelash and brow. But God, that looks really good. I'm not sure what camera they used. And then there's all these great textures. And you'll notice right here, this is definitely not the same camera. I'm not sure what camera this is. It might be a GoPro or something like that. But there is shallow depth of field, so maybe not. But it's clearly different quality-wise. Like it's clipping highlights. The leaves are disappearing from the aggressive exposure. And it just looks over-sharpened from the camera processing side of things. And then you see these shots and you're like, yeah, those look really good. So they had different setups for that. Everything's in a high frame rate. I'm assuming like at least 1/250, 1/500. Which was, if they're shooting shallow depth of field, there may not have been an ND filter. I personally love shooting high shutter speeds though. I think it looks great. Did I say high frame rates? High shutter speeds, I'm so sorry. It looks really good. This is great because he's wearing something dark and it's absorbing the blood droplets that are coming down. I don't know how they did the blood droplets though, but they look really good. And here we go. I'm assuming this is GoPro. And one general giveaway is just the fact that it's over sharpened. But if you see the camera move, every time the camera moves, all of this tree line and stuff becomes blocks because of the compression from the camera. But I love this shot. We've got just a very casual side fill on fill. And then we also have a light that's just for hitting those contacts. So we get that very strategic like lighting in the eyes. It's very important. In the background, we've got a light that's just off to the side to fill in the background. So we see the blood droplets coming down. And I still wonder how they got those blood droplets to fall so perfect. And then this is a drone. So I'm not sure what drone it is, but I don't think it's the DJI Phantom or DJI, what's it called? The Mavic Pro. The Mavic Pro with the Hasselblad. It doesn't look like the Hasselblad. It looks like one of the different models because it has a little bit of that sharpening effect, and the highlights and midtones are kind of muted. Whereas with the Hasselblad, it looks quite similar to a cinema camera. This location is amazing. And this is, you know, they just got one light that's also on this cart. And it's perfect for just relaying that this is a very spoopy place. And it's doing a great job filling in on Phil. But clearly, cinema camera, I really would have to guess it's the Komodo. I don't know where this location is, but I'd assume it's somewhere in Tennessee. You know? A lot of caves down there. They're from Tennessee. I'm gonna have to find out. I got fam down there. I like that the blood is, I'm sorry I keep pausing. I like that the blood is very red. A lot of fake blood is very dark, and I think for this, we really get to see that blood fucking red color, and for me personally, I love that. And I love these catacomb shots where you can just kind of get this general gaze of where he's at in the frame, but it feels so vast. Like, I bitch about wide shots a lot in my own work because I find them boring, but this, when you have a location like this, you can get away with murder. Pun intended. Just very simple setups. I think the makeup looks really great too, by the way, whoever did the makeup. I can't see eyes moving though through the eyelids, which is, what are you gonna do? That's part of the game. I wonder if I'm in focus. Fine, that's good enough. I was waiting for a good moment to pause. The only gripe I have with these shots, the setup of the narrative that he's going to reanimate, is just the aggressive light that they used. And I'm imagining that since they were down in a cave, you know, they probably didn't have a ton of options as far as lights that take battery. Maybe they didn't have a bunch of fucking Astras on hand. Whatever, you know. I don't know the company that did this, but I think they're generally not a massive company with peace and love. That's a good thing. We love that. We love small business, especially in this world. Fuck all the... I'm not getting into it. But the pure white, I feel like, is a little... It feels out of place. And this is just me trying to find some sort of complaint because this video is amazing. But I feel like maybe I wouldn't have kissed this angle so aggressively. I would have softened it up. And it's the same with these. Like, that white light is like very specific and like, hey, I'm right here, check it out. Which I get the point. You know, we're trying to keep the location ambiguous and spoopy looking and giving these shadows and textures. But I think on the face, especially with this gray hair, it's really specific that this is like a non-natural light. You know what I mean? In this particular location, it's reading as like, hey, we set up a light. And I mean, I guess in the narrative sense, you know, it is a fella going down into the caves to reanimate his parents. Maybe he did have just aggressive spotlighting with him. This is the arguments that you have. And especially on the tie, you can see it kind of sheening because of the reflectiveness of the fabric. These are the discussions you have. Especially when you have shots like this that are just perfect, like overcasty, beautiful lights. I think the Necronomicon kind of vibe looks good. We're still kind of hitting with that, you know, aggressive lighting, even though we've seen him light candles and now the candles aren't lit. But yeah, once again, these are This is the only nitpick I have for a really perfect video. I love this video so much. See, now they're lit. So we had that one shot that established him lighting candles, but then after that we had a continuity kind of deal where like the candles weren't lit as he was going through the Necronomicon kind of deal. I'm calling it a Necronomicon. Sue me. But now we're back and the candles are lit. But they're not influencing the shot because we still have that aggressive light coming in from the other angle. Which with Peace and Love, I think it looks fine. Once again, that's my one gripe. I wish there was a way to sell the candles more and maybe have less aggressive shadows. This shot is beautiful. Because right here, I mean, we're still using that same sort of light, but for some reason the skin tones specifically look fucking great. If we could have brought that harsh light up to where it worked more so to catch the blood coming down, that might have worked, but I'm sure they tried everything and did every sort of thought process because clearly these folks aren't fucking around. This is a beautiful video. God, the skin tones specifically look fucking great here. And with this like mantle altar deal framing the shot around his face with the blood coming down. Oh my God, it's so good. That shot. I could watch a whole video of just this one shot because of the backlighting and there's some atmospheric fog sort of happening and dust, and it just looks so good when you're looking at these creepy fucking contacts in his fucking eyes and the look on his face. He's selling it so well. This is the best shot of the whole video, in my opinion. These shots. For some reason, these shots they're so creepy. This one, once again, I think looks beautiful. The skin tones, man, you all did an amazing job keeping skin tones right. Because that light back there looks kind of warm, but the light that's hitting Phil and adding this side of things is probably not as warm. We have another light from the other side that's a lot more soft, and I love that. But this strobing light back here kind of bums me out because I can just really see where it's coming from, which was probably intentional. That's what I'm doing here is, you know, my thoughts and what I would do. And, you know, this is a very like person by person visual thing. It's subjective is what I'm saying. But I think that's the only thing that bums me out on this one. I would have brought it to the other side of the cave so it just fills this back end a little bit more, so you can't tell the point of origin. This is a great dolly out. I wonder what focal length this is. It feels like it's more than 24 millimeter. Just the way when the camera's slowly angling down, like it feels much wider than it might have been. And that was another one of those moments where, damn, we're seeing that point of origin real aggressive, and now there's none of that atmospheric dust and stuff happening, so it's just very clean, which most people go for that. I don't. I would have made it super noisy, and I use vintage fucking lenses that look like ass, but they look cool for what I do, so I'm happy. Yeah, I just see that light too much. That's all. This shot's great because it's clearly, well, it's not clearly, they could have done it different, but you know, we have the shot in the center of Phil, and then you can kind of cut it, like the camera is perfectly locked in and not moving. I did a music video recently that had something similar, But you lock the camera, we don't move it, we don't adjust anything, we leave it as is. We get the shots of Phil's performance, and then there on the left and on the right, moving around, and you can shoot that at like, you know, a different frame rate and get that time-lapsey feel. So, and it really helps to make movements more unnatural. Because you'll see other shots where they look like they're moving the same sort of way, but it doesn't feel the same because it's them just moving, like right there. Yeah, see, now they're at normal speed because we're moving the camera. Now that we're moving the camera, you can't really pull the same sort of deal. Unless it was a robot, you know, on a robot and it did the match move shit. But we're not doing that. We're clearly in a fucking cave. I wish that we seen more of that makeup. Where's that at? I want to see more of that. Because that's fucking creepy. Except for the fact that we can see the neck doesn't have the same makeup. But God, the eyes? Come on, where is that at? I want more of that. That's sick. And we can see it on her too, that the neck isn't painted the same as the face. But this makeup looks great otherwise. Like, good God, it's beautiful. And now we're introducing the band, and we got blood on the lens. Now it's a fucking party. And once again, more shots that I'd love to see happen often. Look at that. I mean, we can see the edge of the contacts, but I think that just sells it. Because it almost feels like the iris is just fucking huge. Not really much to say about the performance shots of the band. I think they look great. Edge lighting, a little bit of strobe action, camera doing this number. You can't, it's like a broke dick, bud. You can't beat it. You gotta do it on every video. And then we got the blood flying, and everybody's, I imagine they just shot everybody at a faster frame rate and then put it to normal speed, and then so they could do speed ramps. You got to do speed ramps. Director, post effects, David Brodsky. I'm gonna have to go look you out, good buddy, because you're doing great work. You're doing fantastic work. Huge fan. You got to find these folks. Like, anytime you're doing the same creative stuff as other folks, be friends. Beautiful video. I think that it's done so well, and I can't imagine how much of a pain in the ass it was to be in a cave. And please do more like this, Whitechapel. This was beautiful. I'm gonna reach out, Brodsky, my good eye music visuals, because you're doing great work, and I'd love to be pals. Maybe come on here and we could talk and see how wrong I was about stuff. But yeah, awesome. So yeah, that's all I got for this one. Go support Whitechapel. Go support Brodsky. He's doing great work. You can check out my work on Facebook. Just fucking look up old Sandy Jones. I'll just reach out to me. I'll talk to you. Like and subscribe if you do that sort of stupid shit, and comment. Maybe we can make this channel popular, and I could shout out your bands if you're in one, or if you have a channel or whatever. Anything I can do to help you, you let me know. I'm gonna hopefully try to get some tutorial stuff out soon. I've just been, busy as fuck with music videos, so it's hard to balance. But I will get the balance down, and if these videos start doing well, then it's gonna really help me to be like, okay, this is something I can take serious. Because right now it doesn't feel like a serious thing. And so I don't commit to it. But yeah, anyways, Sandwich Jones out. You all have a great rest of your frickin' day. First day of fall, boys. Let's fucking get her.